Hello and welcome to class number 3 of this Basics of Indian Polity series. I welcome you all to my channel. The first two classes were where we discussed the different types of majorities in the Indian Parliament, and then we discussed about the different types of writs. In the third class today, we'll be discussing again a very often asked question in both the prelims and the mains examination, that is the Anti-Defection Law. We'll be discussing in great detail why was the law introduced, when was the law introduced, the purpose of this, the problems with the law, the exception, how does it work, each and everything that you require in order to answer any question that can be asked by the UPSC. Let's start. Anti-defection law. Let's understand the word defection first. Defection simply means changing your side. So let's say there are two teams, you're a part of one of the teams. All of a sudden you thought the other team is getting stronger. Think of it in this manner. Someone who would have contested elections in Bihar right now, let's say, is from the RJD or from the Congress. After the election, they suddenly thought the BJP and the JDU appear to be the much stronger side. People have much more support with them. Let's join that side. Let me just change my team. This is called as defection. So in simple terms, changing your side is defection. Now, in the political context, when a legislator, that is a member of parliament or a member of legislative assembly, when they decide to change their side, the problems that it creates are plenty. The biggest problem is the lack of stability that the government has. Let's assume right now in the Bihar elections, what if bunch of you BJP MPs and JDU MLAs, rather MLAs of BJP and JDU, decide that we want to leave our party, join the Congress and join the RJD? It will create a lot of instability. To stop that from happening, anti-defection law was introduced. Now, if you look at the anti-defection law, the idea is to stop the members of the parliament or the members of legislative assembly from changing their side randomly. Now, how is it done? This is done by punishing them for doing it. Anyone who has read the anti-defection law would know this phrase that became very famous, that is Ayaram Gayaram. This phrase became famous because of a Haryana MLA called Gayalal, who in the 1960s apparently changed parties thrice in one single day. Because there was no limitation on it, there was no restriction on changing your party, you could go with any party, whichever pushes you, whichever attracts you, in exchange for money or in exchange for any post. Because of this, a lot of instability comes in the government. As you know, the government can only rule as long as they have the majority members in the lower house. So if the members keep on changing their sides, you will never know which party will be in power. And that is why, to stop this from happening, anti-defection law was introduced. When was it introduced? By 52nd Amendment 1985. So it was a constitutional amendment. Not just this, it has been written in the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Now, you all would know by now there are a total of 12 schedules in the Indian Constitution. Schedules are nothing but lists or tables of information given in the Constitution. The 12 schedules in themselves are extremely important. Like schedule number 1 talks about the list of states and union territories of India. Schedule number 2 talks about the salaries of important posts in India. Schedule 3 talks about oath, affirmation. Schedule 4 talks about Rajya Sabha seats for individual states, so on and so forth. We need to remember all these 12 schedules. Out of these, schedule number 10 contains what is called as the anti-defection law, to stop the legislators from changing side. If they do, they will be disqualified from their membership. Now, there are 4 provisions of the anti-defection law. There are 4 circumstances under which you will be forced to resign or you will be forced out of your membership of the parliament. What are these 4 points? Let's see one by one. First, if you voluntarily resign from your party, let's say you're a member of parliament from the BJP, you resign from the BJP, then you can't remain a member of parliament any longer. You have to leave your seat of the member of parliament as well. So this is the first point. You cannot voluntarily resign from the party. This is why in the past, let us say there is a member of parliament in the Lok Sabha. He is from the Congress. He wants to leave the Congress. But he knows that if I resign from the Congress, I will lose my seat in Lok Sabha as well. I don't want to do that. So what do? In the past, many members of parliament start criticizing their own party. That member of parliament will start making speeches against his own party. That, oh, Congress is doing this, is doing that. Why? Because he knows if I speak against my own party anyways will throw me out of the party. That is fine. Because if the party throws you out, you will still remain a member of parliament. Your parliament seat will not go away. Your parliament seat will only go away if you yourself resign from the party. And this is why a lot of members, if they want to leave the party, they start criticizing the party, but they don't resign. They force the party to throw them out. This is where the Supreme Court has now stepped in. Supreme Court has said that the term voluntarily resigning from the party would also include you not following the party discipline. Look at this last line. The term voluntarily giving up membership has been interpreted by the courts to include the conduct inconsistent with party membership. So even if you apply this trick now, that I will just start criticizing my own party, they anyways will not have any option but to throw me out, I'll be saved. No, you will not be saved by this anymore, because now going against a party discipline will mean voluntarily resigning from the party. This is the first point. Second point, if you vote against a party directions, if you vote against a party whip. Now what is a whip? Whip is a very interesting term. It is in fact used for two purposes. Every political party appoints a whip. Whip is a post that every political party would have. Let's assume, for example, that BJP, the BJP says that Mr. Amit Shah is our whip. Now, Mr. Amit Shah is a whip, meaning that whatever he says, whatever orders he gives shall be binding on the party members. So if Mr. Amit Shah says that tomorrow in the parliament you have to vote yes on a certain matter, then you have to vote yes. The orders issued by this person will also be called as the whip. So again, whip is a term used for two purposes. It is used for the post given to this person, and the orders issued by this person are also called the whip. So if, as a member of the BJP, you don't follow the orders given by the whip, then you will be disqualified. So going against a party whip without the party's permission will lead you to disqualification. If you already have taken permission from the party that please allow me, I can't come. Let's take an example. Let's say the BJP tells all its members of parliament, tomorrow you have to come in the parliament no matter what. We have a very important debate. A member is unwell, he messages that please I can't come, please excuse me, and he is excused, then he will not be disqualified. So for disqualification to happen, you should not have taken permission from the party. Third point is about independent members. So there are some independent members in the parliament as well. Independent, in other words, nirdaliya. Those who have not fought from any party ticket, those who have just fought elections on their own. If they end up winning the elections, by the way, it is very rare. Independent members winning the elections is a very rare occurrence. But if they do win the elections, in that case, they cannot join any political party. You can win the election independently, but then you have to remain an independent member. You can't be a part of any party. The moment you join a party, after election, you will be disqualified. And fourth, nominated members. As you know, as of now, Rajya Sabha has 12 nominated members. There are 12 members nominated in the Rajya Sabha. From amongst those who have a special knowledge or experience in the field of art, science, literature, and social service. Although these are not very strict, nowadays you see the ruling party nominating anyone who is close to them, not necessarily from these four fields, but these nominated members get 6 months of time. Within the first 6 months, they can join any political party. But if they join a party after 6 months are over, then they will be disqualified. These are the 4 pointers of anti-defection law. Again, resigning from the party, voting against the party directions, independent member joining a political party, or a nominated member joining a party after 6 months will lead to disqualification. These are the reasons why under anti-defection law you can be disqualified. Now, just like many other laws, this also has certain exceptions. whenever the members of parliament or political parties make a law, they have to give some exception because they know in certain scenarios they may have to use this law. First exception, the two-third rule. So, if two-third or more members of a party together resign and merge with some other party, they will not be disqualified. How? Take this example. Let's say the Congress has 90 members in the Lok Sabha right now. So let's assume the Congress has 90 members in the Lok Sabha. If one or two of them resign, then they will be disqualified. So what can save them? If two-thirds of them at least, means at least 60 or more. If these 60 or more together resign and they join the other side, then they will not be disqualified. Those who did not support the merger, those who are left in the Congress, they will also be saved. But the minimum criteria has to be two-thirds. It used to be one-third earlier, but that one-third has been removed. This is in fact a big criticism of the law as well. In other terms, if you actually see, mass defections are still allowed. Only small-scale defections and defections where two-thirds together will have to resign together are still allowed. One other exception is the presiding officer. So let's say someone becomes a member of the speaker of the Lok Sabha rather. When you become a Lok Sabha speaker, you may want to resign from your party. It is not necessary in India. In British Parliament, it is necessary. When you become a speaker of the lower house, you have to resign from your party membership. In India's case, it is not necessary that the Lok Sabha speaker must resign from the party, but they may. For example, in 2004, Somnath Chatterjee, when he became the Lok Sabha speaker from the CPI, he first resigned from his party. Why? Because he wanted to project that now I am not biased, I am not in favor of any party, I am a neutral entity. So in that case, if you have become the Lok Sabha speaker, you are resigning to show that now you are independent, you will not be disqualified. That disqualification point about resigning from the party will not apply to you because you did it for some other purpose. These are the exceptions. So the two-third rule remains an exception, and anyone becoming the Lok Sabha speaker resigning from the party to show that now I am unbiased, that also will not lead to disqualification. The one other very interesting example here is, while the law is partly able to stop people from changing sides, but it has not made some changes, or it has not been able to fill up the other gaps in Indian politics. The one big issue is coalition. Now, the law says that you cannot change your side, that is fine, but you can change your coalition partners. This is not prevented by the law. In Bihar, JDU Nitish Kumar in the past has consistently changed sides. His party sides with the BJP to form the government, then goes to RJD to form the government, then comes back to BJP, so on and so forth. This switching of sides to form a coalition government is not prohibited under the law. There is no restriction on doing that. The restriction is that you cannot resign from your own party. You cannot leave your own party. But on the other hand, if you just want to team up as a whole with some other party, then there's no restriction. In Maharashtra as well, in the last election, you saw what had happened. In the last Maharashtra election, the election were fought when the BJP and Shiv Sena were on one side, NCP and the Congress were on the other side. But after the election, Shiv Sena switched and these three parties formed the government together. Anti-Defection Law does not stop that. Anti-Defection Law only stops an individual member from resigning from the party, but as a group, if you are planning to change the side, there is no restriction as per the Anti-Defection Law. One other very interesting provision about the Anti-Defection Law is the role of the speaker. Now understand, Anti-Defection Law has a lot of criticism attached to it. The one very interesting part about the law is who decides on the question of disqualification. If the member of parliament is accused of any of the 4 points, the disqualification decision is to be given by the presiding officer of the house. Meaning, in case of the Lok Sabha, the decision will be made by the Lok Sabha speaker. In case of Rajya Sabha, the Rajya Sabha chairperson will decide. This has become controversial. Why? Think of it. In today's context, today's condition considered, imagine this. In the Lok Sabha, what is more likely to happen? First scenario, is it likely that a member of the BJP will want to join the Congress? Or the second scenario, a member of the Congress would want to join the BJP. What do you think is a likely scenario at the center? More likely scenario is the second one. A Congress member would want to join the BJP because they seem to be the winning side right now. In this situation, let's assume that this member of parliament goes from the Congress to the BJP. Ideally, they should be disqualified. But the disqualification decision is taken by whom? The Lok Sabha Speaker. And the Lok Sabha Speaker is from which party? He is already from the BJP. Because they are the ruling party, Om Birla, who is a Lok Sabha Speaker, he is always from the BJP already. Why would he want to disqualify someone coming to his own party? Are you understanding the point here? Why would he want to disqualify someone leaving the other side and coming to his side? This is why in a lot of cases, the presiding officers do not take such a decision. Rather, they delay the decision as much as possible. And what helps them is the fact that the law, the Anti-Defection Law, does not put a time limit on the speaker to decide on these issues. In fact, there have been scenarios such as the one in Manipur where some members of the opposition, some MLAs from the opposition resigned, joined the ruling side, they should be disqualified. But rather than being disqualified, they were actually made ministers in the government. And the speaker just did not take a decision. The speaker kept on saying, I'm thinking on the matter and deciding on the matter. That has become controversial. Because of this, the Supreme Court, in fact, had famously said in the Kehoto Holohan case that the decision of the speaker is subject to judicial review. Meaning that when the speaker decides on this matter, if someone is unhappy with that decision, you can challenge it in the court and the court will have the power to review this particular decision. In fact, a similar kind of a thing happened in Maharashtra as well. In 2023, listening to what was happening in Maharashtra, the Supreme Court said that the speaker must decide on these issues within 3 months. And if the matter is quite urgent, within 2 weeks, the speaker must take a decision. These are the Supreme Court interventions in these cases that have been seen in the past in multiple cases. Now, these are not the only instances. There are many such instances of the Anti-Defection Law being in the news, the people changing their side, bringing instability in the government. This is why the Anti-Defection Law is required. However, having said that, considering everything, there is one other big problem that we are missing out on. That is the Anti-Defection Law going against the freedom of speech and expression of the members of parliament. See, as a member of parliament, let's assume you are a BJP MP. That does not mean that you will agree to everything that the BJP supports. You may not like a certain bill by the BJP. You may not like a certain government decision. But because you are a BJP member, you are forced to vote in favor of that. Because the moment you decide not to vote in its favor, you will lose your seat in the Lok Sabha. So an individual member of parliament's freedom of speech and expression has been taken away. If a member of parliament, while contesting election, may have promised its people that I will do X, Y, Z work for you, they don't really have any control over it. They have to abide by the orders given by the party. Not even this. Imagine this. The Lok Sabha recently passed the 1/3 women reservation law in the parliament. One of the reasons given why we should have women reservation is when we have more women in the Lok Sabha, it will lead to more women-centric laws. But my argument is that it will not happen. Why? You can have all members of Lok Sabha as women, doesn't really matter. Because they will eventually decide on matters based on the order given by their party. So if BJP, let's assume, has 300 Lok Sabha members, all women, that does not mean that they will vote on their own. If a male is giving them an order sitting in the BJP headquarters, for example, they will have to abide by that order. So anti-defection law takes away this entire individual freedom idea. And this is a big challenge. Apart from the challenge that the speaker may be biased, apart from the fixed timeline not being given, the problem is you're taking away the freedom of speech and expression. The one big suggestion is maybe, just maybe, rather than forcing the members of parliament every time to vote with their party, allow them to vote on their own. Only when it is a matter of no confidence motion, when without their vote the government may fall down, then you can force them to vote with their party. But on small little matters, on laws, on policy decisions, they should be allowed to vote on their own, rather than forcing them to vote in favor of what their party thinks. That is again a big suggestion. In countries such as US, there is no anti-defection law. So the members of the Democrats or Republican parties are free to vote in their own manner. They don't have to abide by their party directions. It leads to certain problems. Problems such as when the government introduces a bill, they are never sure whether the bill even will pass or not. But at least you are giving the members of parliament enough freedom, which is not seen in India's case. This is every single thing you needed to know about the anti-defection law. If you're new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. I really hope this video was helpful for you. Do let me know in the comment section if you want me to cover next few topics in Indian polity from your choice. I'll be happy to make a video on all of those. If you want this PPT, be a part of my Telegram channel. I'm giving a link in the description of the video. You can also download my app where I do offer a lot of other courses as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.